sometimes have 2-3 days, you don't have time to spend much to talk to them. But the Prophet said no, and this is not excuse for any one of us. He will make time sallallahu alaihi wasallam for that. In Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, see this story, which is reported by Imam Muslim. In Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had 9 wives, as you know, as Anas narrating the story. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to stay after Maghrib. He will go to one of them and he will spend time with them. All of them might gather in one house and he will talk to them. Anyway, one night he was in Aisha's house because it's her night. And it was dark. Then a woman, she gave her hand to the Prophet ﷺ. Then the Prophet ﷺ was it seems like he was going to pull her to be next to him. He thought she's Aisha because this is her house. But she was Zainab. She was Zainab. Then she said, Ya Rasulullah, I am Zainab. Then he pulled his hand back. Because this is not her night. Then Aisha, radiallahu anha, she got jealous. She started arguing with Zainab, how dare you put your hand to the Prophet ﷺ in order for him to take you or pull you next to him. This is my night. They start arguing so much and their voice came loud. And the Prophet ﷺ looking at them smiled. Then Abu Bakr came, said, اخرج يا رسول الله إلى الصلاة واحث في أفواهن التراب. The Prophet ﷺ, Abu Bakr came to him, the father of Aisha, said, Ya Rasulullah, come to the prayer, iqamah's time. See, that means that he is spending this time with them. Even the time of the salah came, Abu Bakr came to the Prophet and said, come and do the iqamah and let them talk or put sand in their mouth, let them shut their mouth, basically. Anyway, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam once was sitting also, and Aisha radiallahu anha was sitting, and Sauda, other one of the Prophets. Aisha, she cooked that day, and I told you she's not a good, she doesn't know how to cook good. Anyway, she cooked a special food. It's called khazira. It's kind of meat. Anyway, she cooked meat. Then it has meat and sauce. Then Sauda on one of the side, Aisha on one of the side. Aisha said to Sauda, eat. Sauda said, no, I'm not gonna eat. She said, eat. She said, no, I'm not gonna eat. From you, eat, no. Then she said, if you're gonna eat, or I'm gonna put this sauce in your face. Like, she put the sauce in your face. Playing with her. Joking. Then she said, Ya Rasulullah, can I? He said, yes. Then she dipped her hand in the sauce of the meat and she started painting Sauda's face with the sauce of the meat. Then Sauda, she looked at the Prophet ﷺ and she said, you can do it too. Then they start playing with each other, painting each other's faces, and the Prophet ﷺ laughed. When Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu came taking permission, the Prophet ﷺ said, go clean your face quickly and take this food from here. Aisha said, since then I was afraid for Umar because I saw the Prophet ﷺ respected him so much, even he would not allow us to joke front of him, of Umar. Nabi ﷺ also once was traveling. And Aisha and Hafsa were together. Even though they are one group, but still. In Aisha, her camels were shorter than Hafsa's camel. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he walked in the army, in the caravan, he will come and walk beside Aisha and talk to her. All of this to show you how much he will talk, spend time with them. Any chance. He walking in the caravan, he will leave them and he will walk with his wife. He will come to Aisha and talk to her. Hafsa, she is smart. She told Aisha, you know what? We're going to pass by area. There is a lot of views. You want to use my camels because higher camels? Bigger camels? I said, yes. She's still a little. She said, yes, excited about seeing few things. But she didn't realize the trick, what Hafsa planning. When she ride Hafsa's camels, you know the camels had like a kind of partitions around it. So nobody knows who's exactly inside. It's called Hawdaj. The Prophet ﷺ came to Aisha's camels, but Aisha's not there. Who is there? Hafsa. Then he started talking to her. Aisha said, I didn't look to anything else. I was only looking to them and so sorry and mad that I missed this chance. She said to the extent, Wallahi, I put my foot in the camels was settled. She said, I put my foot in the trees, the push of the trees, hoping a scorpion or a snake will attack me And I'll die but not to see this happening to me. I would rather die not seeing that happen to me in my own camels. That they are talking to each other. But the point again is the Prophet ﷺ will talk to them. Will have patience with them. Aisha once, she had argument with the Prophet ﷺ and she raised her voice over the Prophet ﷺ voice. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Her father was there. What he did, he came to make deal between them. Abu Bakr slapped her daughter in her face. How dare you raise your voice over the Prophet ﷺ voice? Then the Prophet ﷺ, no. We don't ask you to be in the middle to do that. ما سألناك لتصنع هذا. We don't ask you to be in the middle to slap her or to beat your daughter. No, I don't want that. Then Abu Bakr left. Then he said, I left. Then he came back and found them laughing. See, even the problem, it will not take so many days, so many hours. Problems happen. It will end right away. He said, when I came back, they laughing. I said, ألا أشركتماني في صلحكما كما أشركتماني في حربكما. He said, why don't ask me now to join you while you're laughing? We have a peaceful time. You only ask me to involve when you have a fight. Yani join me in what is good also. Let me join with you. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, also once he making i'tikaf. One of his wives, which is Safiya, came and spent so much time with him. Talking to him, so much, late into the night. Then he walked her to his house, and this time two people passed by the Prophet ﷺ. Said, hey, don't walk quickly, she's my wife. Because she's covered, she's my wife, don't think bad. The Prophet ﷺ, he's not trying to save himself from people thinking bad about him. No, he's trying to save them, because if they think bad about the Prophet ﷺ, they will not become Muslim. This is kufr. Anyway, even the Prophet ﷺ, he will say to Aisha, I know when you are pleased with me or angry with me. He said, how? She said, when you are pleased with me, you will swear, when you make oath, you will say, the Lord of Mohammad. And when you are angry at me, you said, the Lord of Moses, the Lord of Ibrahim. She said, I only leave your name, Ya Rasulullah. In Nabi Sallallahu Aisha, she narrated to him the story of these 11 women. It takes 15 minutes to read it for you. He listening quietly. Hey, khalas, finish, I'm busy. Sometimes you are, but we do these mistakes, but we need to correct ourselves. In Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he might, and you will see all of his wives in one night. He will joke with them, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. One Sauda, she prayed behind the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he had long ruku'. She said, Ya Rasulullah, I was holding my nose because the blood was coming out from my nose. It was so long ruku'. And the Prophet smiled, and she used to make jokes. This generation said, she used to make jokes, which the Prophet ﷺ would laugh. كانت تضحك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بأشياء. Anyway, in Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم, he will, when Aisha will drink from the cup, in Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم, he will drink from the same spot she drank. When she got a bite from the meat, he will bite from the same place she had her bite. To that extent, to show his love, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He raised Aisha twice, foot raise, twice. That's amazing. The Prophet ﷺ used to take shower with his wives. And one of them, he will take shower with Aisha, with Safiya, together. Some narration, but it's weak, and it's not authentic. They have two containers. They used to split on each other when they are taking the shower. كان لهما مغرفتان يتقاذفان الماء بهما. But it's not authentic. But anyway, the authentic narration, they used to take shower together, and they have only one container. Sometimes the Prophet take it first, sometimes she will take it first. Who take it first? Even very nice, very lovely way of life. Ease life, full of ease, full of love. This life actually is not exist much in our marriage life, brothers and sisters. Why? We should ask ourselves that. We should know that the Prophet ﷺ, with all of his responsibility. He's the Prophet, he's the leader, he's the Imam, he's the Qadi, he's the Shaykh, he's the scholar, he's everything. And this was his part of his life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And believe me, what I left from his stories with his wife, more maybe than what I said to you. But I hope we learn today that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a great example for us as a man to copy him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also we learn from his life, also as sisters, to learn from this life, to know that this life is something you and your husband sharing together. The Prophet ﷺ, so many times the sisters and brothers complaining about their relationship tend to be very cold. Even though sometimes they will complain that their husband not anymore interested to